Hey, hey, everybody, namaste. It's Becca Pati. So nice to see you and spend some time with you on this little bit of a weird Sunday. It's got some flurries going on, and the weather's definitely shifted into almost a winter-like mode again. But wherever you are in the world, whether it's snowy or whether it's sunshiny, I'm really grateful to just take a few moments with you. This is number 3 in the video series that I'm doing called Power, Purpose, and Prose. This video is a little bit different. I've kind of broken it up into 2. One is the blog and the introspective thoughts that may resonate with you, and that's amazing if it does. And then the second part of it, I did want to incorporate some movement. So there is some Vinyasa. We're looking at doing more of an intermediate flow that does work a little bit with arm balances and sort of breaking down our own limitations and our barriers that way. So you can just stop and listen to the blog and then continue on at a later date with the Vinyasa, or just fast forward to the Vinyasa. It's totally up to you. I do not take offense to either way. So this video is entitled The Naked Truth. This blog was written at a time where I was really observing and reconciling what was placed on me as expectations versus who I believed that I was. And of course, there are those self-limiting viewpoints as well. So let's dive in. The naked truth. I'm standing in front of my bathroom mirror, wearing nothing but clear lip gloss. What a strange thing to be doing, but it's necessary. I'm whispering. I declare, I like what I see reflecting back at me. But it wasn't always that way. I've dealt with many body issues from the time I was in my early teens to, well, at times even now. However, lately I've been able to laugh at my monkey arms, gangly legs, short torso, and hairs that grow in the most awkward places. Thank you, Indo-Fijian father. But in this moment, it's not about the shape of my body I'm concerned with as I pull up my face and pinch my skin. It's a bit of a weird habit. I'm aware of the layers that are starting to peel back, revealing something more interesting and worth mentioning. What I've always struggled with is the beauty that lies within. It's an ongoing struggle to love and embrace the spirit of who I am. I have felt too loud, too opinionated, too aggressive, too controversial, too passionate, and too big. Taking off my clothes is the easy part. Staring at myself is the more difficult practice, but diving inwards feels torturous. The deeper work of self-acceptance in the face of criticism is one of my biggest hurdles to overcome. I've realized for years I've covered up the most beautiful lioness parts of myself with a layer upon layer of insecurities and self-doubt for being that woman who people perceive as a bitch, aggressive, or outspoken. I've battled for years with the idea that I didn't fit into other people's thoughts and ideas of how I should speak, act, and move on this earth. I also somehow convinced myself at one point that my mind must be wired differently, and that when I talked to people, they always thought that I was angry, yet no anger was ever present, just overflowing, unbridled passion. So I felt censored, frustrated, stifled, and contained. As I stand naked and rooted, my gaze blurs and my mind withdraws from the external world and journeys to my internal workings. I am so aware that my covering needs to be burned away with the same passion I feel about my life. Only then will I be able to truly dive into the complex spirited woman that rests impatiently within my skin, my bones, and tissues. She's an impassioned woman that I have been nervous about exposing because so many people in subtle and not so subtle ways have suggested that I should jump back into the box of conformity. As I look back on some of the interactions, it breaks my heart to know how much of it I have sopped up like a porous sponge. It dawned on me that even simple statements have had an effect on my perception of self. You're too aggressive, or why are you so opinionated? Or that doesn't make sense, or that's not how we do it. I feel like finally I'm able to ask a very key question. Who the fuck is we? And how do they know what I should be doing in my life? Over the past few years, I've stripped off, peeled back, ripped away, and burned through the shroud that has surrounded my soul with blackness, stopping me from being totally and authentically me. There is more work that needs to be done, but I know that I am more than my physical body and that I do not think inside anyone's boring box. If you try and place me in a cage, I will rip my hair out and claw at the ground until I release myself from the walls suppressing, or I will die trying. I am an untamed goddess who now knows that my inner flame will never be extinguished by another's failing self-love. Those of us who are creative and empowered free spirits will place layers around us to keep our light from shining too brightly so we can make the people around us feel more comfortable. But there will come a point where we will need to express ourselves fully and live our dharma, life's purpose, unapologetically. If you are around us and you do not have this kind of intensity, then you'll never understand why we feel like the world is magical, and we will make you very irritated and confused. So in order for us to live at peace without judgment towards one another, we must have an understanding. You live your way, and I will live mine. Love will always guide us through. As I break through my own barriers, I will keep going until I no longer feel the need to justify myself to the world around me. It will be a lifelong journey. What I do know is that I must learn to let go and love myself regarded of misdirected comments and attacks. I want to bare my breasts, beat my chest, and run free in the forest. If you don't want to join me, we can still be friends. But if you choose to be naked and wild, just turn to the right or to the left, and I'll be there. Woo, that blog gives me chills. There's something about it for me that still resonates, even though I have really experienced a wealth of understanding about myself and done so many different types of therapies to gain that independence within my soul that is fiercely in love with self. There are moments that I self-doubt. There are moments that I wonder if I'm good enough, where people somehow can have an impact on me that surprises me. My own family, if they walk away, I sometimes sit there and want to chase after them, wishing that they understood me, cared about me, and really got me. Friends disappear constantly. As soon as my energy gets too big, too bold, they kind of go, oh shit, like she's the real deal. And I don't really want to be around that for fear of what I expose. I understand that I sometimes can be a force, but that's because Spirit is constantly talking to me. Spirit is working through me at a level that even shocks myself. I am being downloaded information, and I can feel sometimes the energy permeating from my skin is not always going to jive with everyone around me. If you feel that way, and I know that there are a shitload of you who do, because there's no way that you and I would be interacting on social media in any way if you did not resonate with that, or maybe you're just growing into that fact of self where you will love yourself unconditionally regardless of what is occurring around you. I commend you. This is a journey that is tough, right? It's not easy. And so for those of you who are on this path of uncovering that wild child and inner acceptance, I bow so humbly to your heart and to your soul. It's a journey of epic proportions to take on, and it's an everyday thing, right? We got to get up every single day and choose to look at self, and regardless of the shit that's occurring around us, say, I love you. Look in that mirror, look at yourself in the eyes, and say that phrase over and over again, and tell yourself how fucking awesome you are. If you're joining me for this next vinyasa, feel free to continue on. Otherwise, I look forward to our next adventure together. You take care, be well, and yes, number 4 blog will be coming up in the next few weeks. Namaste. All right, for those of you who are hanging out with me, let's get going here, okay? We're in my condo. I cleaned it a little bit for you, so hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll place this down here. Here we go. And my mat is ready to go. So this flow, I want it to be, you like all the stripes? First of all, I'm a little stripy today. So someone said I looked at the gym like Beetlejuice. I don't remember what he was wearing, but maybe these are kind of Beetlejuicy pants. So in keeping with the theme of sort of self-expression and not feeling like you're censored in any way, let's look at a flow that's a little bit bigger, like less contained, okay? So there's gonna be a bit of movement like off of the mat and maybe even throwing in quite a few like arm balances. So this is definitely an intermediate flow. Yeah, so let's just, beginners, you give it a go and just modify as you need. It's totally fine. There's no judgment with me on that. So let's hit it. Let's head up onto the mat. Let's start in Tadasana. So your feet are grounded, base of the toes together. I'm not going to give a ton of direction in the body. If you've practiced with me enough, you're probably familiar with what we're doing here. So let's give ourselves just that bit of grounding, maybe rocking back and forth to feel where your toes and where your heels land. Your hips are over your knees, your shoulders over hips. You've got that full alignment and the chest is lifted. Without that weird like archy thing, let's not do that. That just makes your rib cage stick out. So pull your ribs in, just feel longer and taller so that the breath has an easier time moving in and out of your body, okay? So let's take an inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Now I'm mirroring you, so take your left hand up, take your right hand to the left wrist, and go over to the right side in a side bend. So let's just stretch out, and what you'll feel is that the feet are grounded, but you're gonna press your left hip over towards the left side just a little bit further, okay? Nice, so one more big inhale, hang out here. And then come all the way back up. Let's bow forward, palms to touch, soften your knees. I just ran a little bit, for 40 minutes, so my legs are a little bit sore. So you go to your depth. I'm just gonna allow myself to hang here for a moment, and then maybe you drop your palms further in towards the floor. Let the body soften down. Inhale to a half lift. Maybe your hands slide up to your shins for the first one, or peace fingers down onto the floor. It's whatever works for you. And then exhale, take it into a forward fold again. Let's draw our fingertips to the ground, walk our hands above the knees here, and sit your bum down into an imaginary chair. Keep your knees apart though, hey? So try not to lock them together. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Open up your heart. Maybe you're even outside. Wouldn't that be awesome? Exhale, palms come to touch and sit down a little bit lower. So take your right elbow to the outer edge of your left knee. Pause it out here, root down in through your left foot and tent up your right heel. So now you end up having this kind of weird uneven knee thing. If you got a bit more balance, keep the gaze looking forward and start to maybe kick your heel in towards your bum. If you have a little bit more, you're sending your head forward and your leg back, and you're working through a movement that is based on trying to balance your energy forward and your leg to the back for 3. For 2, for 1, lower your back foot to the back of the mat. Now you're in a twist, keep going. Could you take your front hand and drop it to your hip? Take your left hand and reach back behind you, maybe shift the gaze all the way to the back of your mat. Nice, so big breaths in and big breaths out. And then palms come all the way to touch. Take your back knee down to the floor. Bring yourself forward. Point away your back toes. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. So make this a very big movement. Allow this time your rib cage to open, your heart to explode, your arms to elevate. Pause here for 3. Hold here for 2. Nice. And then for 1, interlock your hands behind you. Press your fists back, lift your heart up, and exhale to a forward fold. So think about your shoulder coming to the inside of your arch of your foot. The head's coming down, the arms are reaching in opposition of your shoulders. Let everything go. Feel those inner thighs, right? Sometimes those can feel really bound up because we take on the weight of the world, not just in our shoulders, but in our bums. So you might notice that there's some tension there. Release some of that energy. Let it go. We don't need to hang on to it if it doesn't serve us. 1 more big inhale, we're here. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back upright. Reach your arms up high. Once again, inhale to the breath. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. You'll step it back, up or push up with an extended left leg or not. Extend the leg back. Be bold in this process. Exhale, chin drop, chin down, leg up. Point your toes away. Fire up your heart. Shoulder blades roll back. Let's take it to a downward facing dog. Nice. So really pedaling it out here, rooting down through the fingertips, noticing how you feel here. Good. Take the gaze forward. Your options are always just to take that little step. You can also take a little bit of a hop coming up to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands to shins or earth, half lift. You've got this. Exhale, take it to forward fold. Come up to standing. So use your back muscles, swan dive it, make it large. Palms come up, now hold them here. Take your right palm, flip it up. Left hand to the wrist, and go over side bend. So notice if all your weight's in your left leg, could you just shift it over to the right? Nice. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Nice. Inhale, bring yourself back to center. Palms come all the way to touch. Let's take a forward fold. Let it go. So this time, if you want to make it more active, your hands can come behind the calves. Give them a little bit of a squeeze, get down low, and then straighten the legs out a bit further while your belly stays attached onto the thighs. Protect your low back. Let your head dangle down towards your feet. Let it go. Shoulders away from your ears. Then inhale to a half lift. Lengthen up. Your knees are where your hands are going to go. So slide your hands up to your knees. Sit it down into a chair. Lift your heart space up. Knees apart, right? We're not collapsing. We're opening so that there's a feeling of broadening. Palms come to touch. Take your left elbow to the left knee, or to the right knee, my bad. Okay, so we're hanging out here. Your elbow is attached to the right knee, but we're tenting up your left heel. So you've got left knee lifted and your right heel's on the floor. Now keep the gaze forward. This is where we find the equilibrium of pressing your head forward. Your leg goes back. See how you do. Press, 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 press. Maybe it takes a few tries. Don't worry about it. Keep your front knee bent unless there's knee injury. One more big inhale here. And then slowly lower your foot to the back of the mat and continue twisting with your left hand, touching your right hip and your right fingertips, moving to the back of the room. So come up higher on your back toes, open up your heart a little more. Nice, and then bring yourself all the way back to center. Your hands can ground down onto your front knee. Let your back knee lower down, point your toes away. Inhale, arms up. So now lift your rib cage, open up your heart. Nice, hanging out here, maybe palms turning backwards, shoulders dropping down, right? Beautiful space in those inner thighs, expanding, opening. Let's interlock the hands behind us. Maybe you come back slightly, so use the opposite grip, so whatever you normally don't do, do that, okay? And then bring yourself into a forward fold. So we're humbly bowing to self, right? Being aware of all of our little imperfections and loving ourselves anyway, being okay with being loud, outspoken. Maybe you're the person that stands up for people that can't stand up for themselves. That is amazing. Maybe you're quiet and people think you should be louder. Good God, man. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to bring yourself all the way back upright. We can reach the arms back up to the ceiling again. Hands come down to either side of the front foot. Let's take your back knee, lift it up. Step it back into three-limb dog with an extended right leg now. Inhale, hold. Exhale, take down yourself. Chin drop, point your toes, rise. Press into the floor. So we're not here, we're here, right? And then lift the gaze back, downward dog. So we pedal it out a little bit. We get a chance to move the hips side to side. Inhale, take your right leg up towards the ceiling. Gaze it forward and step it up right foot. So use your tented fingertips so you can step the foot all the way up. Inhale, reach your arms up high, crescent lunge. Nice. Settling down the breath, allowing the core to be super strong. You've got the feeling of like your tail being really active to the earth. Good, figure four stretch. Palms come all the way into the heart space. Little 1, 2, 3, take this back leg, bring it all the way up and around. Ankle on top of the knee, sit down. Beautiful. So noticing that the foot is flexed, your leg is strong, your butt is sticking back. So think of the crease of your hips moving beyond your mat behind you, but your heart piece slides forward. So it's not about the depth in yoga, it's always about like how long can you be, and then what does that look like in translation to lengthening the muscle, right? One more big breath in. Now take your knee up, dancer's pose, left knee up, send it behind you, grab on, option A, stay here with your hand to the inside, thumb facing back like a hitchhiker, right? Inhale, left arm or right arm up. Right arm is up, left leg is being held, stay here. Otherwise you're hinging. So the leg needs to be kicked up. Kick it up, 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 and back. Reach your arm forward in opposition to that space. Hang out here for 3. Hang out here for 2. For 1, keep hold of your foot. Bring it all the way forward. Go beyond your mat. Have your leg come all the way out. Interlock your hands. Stay here if you like. Otherwise, the leg goes forward. This is not easy. I understand. Have your knee super bent. So less upright and more like you're coming forward onto the leg. For 3, 2. Ardha Chandrasana. Here we go. Take the leg back. Open up your hips, so slow, 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 right? There's no point in moving fast in yoga if we're falling all over the place. As your leg extends, you can start to lengthen your right fingertips to the floor. Keep your leg elevated. Open up your heart space. Hold here. Yes, big, big, big. Fingertip to fingertip. Heel to heel. Boom. Here we are, world. Yeah. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, both feet go all the way up to the top of the mat. Feet come to touch. Just pause here for a moment. Let your thumbs rest on your third eye. Your intuition that drops down into your pelvic floor, which is where your root is. You get to plant those seeds of self-confidence and self-worth and self-love. Yeah. These need to be watered, right? Constantly, those thoughts, those ideas. Not that we're too big, too bold, too much for the world. No, 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 no. One more big inhale. And then reach your arms up. Nice. And exhale. Take a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale. You can drop your palms down to the floor and you can step it into upper push-up or go directly into your chaturanga. Please land 90 degrees though. Upward dog cobra. And back into downward facing dog. Strong. So we're not hanging. Bring your upper arms away from your ears. Root down your index, your thumb, and all of your knuckles so your hands are like suction to the floor. Nice. Inhale, left leg goes up to the sky. Beautiful. Slowly take the gaze, step up to the top of the mat. Maybe fingertips, slide your back foot away, go really high onto the back foot. That's important. Slide your hands up. Nice. So your tail is rooted, your pelvis is pulled in, meaning that you're not just like bleh, dropping out, right? We have containment. Go longer, arms reach, shoulders down. Maybe hand mudra. You got this. Good. One more big inhale here. And then your palms can make their way all the way into the heart space. A little 1, 2, 3. This leg goes all the way around into figure 4. So here we go. And then we sit down. Yeah. So we're getting into the hip. The crease moves back a little bit. The heart goes high. It's like you're pulling your spine in opposition, getting the stretch in your right hip now. One more big breath in here. Good, we're coming to a dancer's pose, okay? So come all the way up, your knee comes in your chest, and then you can take your leg back and give it a bit of a grip from the inside or outside. You can extend your arm up for a moment for lengthening, and then we start to kick. Yes. Begin to notice that the kick is just as important as the pull of this hand. Reach your heart forward, kick your leg back. One more big inhale. And then slowly the leg goes straight forward into a kick. I know this is a tough transition. Hamstrings are tight, I get it. Big movement coming up, stay here. Or round over top of your right thigh as you kick your leg forward. Pause here for 3, for 2. And then for 1, Ardha Chandrasana, lift your heart, use your core. Slowly let go of that leg. Move your heart up, open up the heel. It's like you're like a little kung fu move, right? Your leg goes to the side, your heart reaches forward, left fingertips, whoop, making their way to the earth. And then maybe you surrender your right hand up. Good, one more big inhale here. Perfect, and eventually you'll take yourself all the way up to standing, all the way up to the top of the mat. Right? Sometimes it's really smooth. Sometimes you're just like, ah, there you are. It's fine. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Come up high onto your toes, but step back on your mat so you've got space. It's crow or crane, okay? Palms plant down. We're jumping, stepping into chaturanga or upper push-up, so lift up your knees onto the back sides of your arms or the outer edges of your upper arms. Your weight needs to be in your fingertips, so come forward. Come forward, come forward, come forward. Lift your toes in towards your bum. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Take that exhale, jump it, step it back. Upward dog. Fly your heart, yeah. Back into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg up to the sky. Gaze it forward, step it up to the top of the mat. Let's do a quick crescent lunge. Inhale, power your heart high. Exhale, hands to touch. Let's bring the hands to either side of the front foot. Take your back knee and slide it around. So now you're going to be in toe squat. Allow your right leg to be up and over your left. All right, palms come all the way into the heart. Now I'm just gonna jump myself over because I don't wanna be too much out of the video frame for you, okay? So just notice if you can take your calf and kind of roll it out, you'll have a better chance of hanging out. Option A, palms onto the knee and the hip. Option B, you can start to lower your palms down, stay into a twist. Otherwise is cross-legged side crow. Palms flat, your elbow tucks into the back hip, lean forward in your hands and come up, kind of like eagle legs, yeah? Now, if you want to play, stay here, or you can start to unwind this shape. Kick towards me. Take your top leg up, 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 up. Hold for 3, for 2, get your legs going back in that same shape. So slowly take some time. You were very big and it's okay to come back into self for a while so that we can reset. Take your left knee to the floor. Bring yourself forward now. We're sitting down in between the heels. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated. Take your right leg up and over and your left knee underneath you if you haven't done that, okay? Then sit up tall. Inhale, left arm goes high. Exhale, take your elbow to the outer edge of your knee and take a twist. Yeah, you're doing really well, by the way. I'm really proud of you. I just love that we can spend this time together and flowing and breathing and talking and chit-chatting. I wish we had a little dialogue going on here, but just know that I think you're great. I'll say that. One more big breath in. And then bring it around to center. Take your feet down to the floor, release them. Let's go reverse tabletop. Take your hands and spin them backwards, yeah? So palms backwards, feet down. Inhale, up we go. Holding here, one more big inhale. You have got this. Nice, slowly let your bum come down, just enough that you can walk forward in Balasana. So eventually we're in between, take the feet wide and then bring yourself into this shape, right? So it kind of feels like we're low. Can you take your knees, press them against your arms and then lift up? Yeah, so we're getting into the hip flexors, low back, digestion area, right? Yeah, this is important. Good, one more big inhale, you're here. And as we exhale, slowly start to bring yourself into forward fold. Now turn your toes forward, but widen them out to as wide as the mat. Then take your left hand to the outer edge of the right ankle and start to twist open. And maybe you keep your right hand up, drop it to the low back, or bring it to the inseam of your left inner thigh and spiral. Let the knees either be bent or completely straight. And then take your right hand up, let it cross over. Maybe you have to keep the legs a little more narrow. Otherwise, bend your elbows and let your head sort of drop in between the upper arms. Good, and then slowly roll up and now sweep open your left arm. Hand to the back, hand to the inner right leg. Nice, and then eventually bring yourself all the way back to center, arm up, hands down, here we go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, I'm just gonna walk myself back a little bit. You can take a hop, step, or a little jump into your downward facing dog. Good, inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Step it up to the top of the mat, away we go. Inhale, let's bring our arms up into a crescent lunge. Big movements, right? But we're not like, right? Like take that rib cage in, contain the energy, but then explode it from your fingertips and your feet and in your thighs and arms, yeah? The whole torso, it's like vibrating, but not just because we're like hanging out. Contain that, right? And then take your fingertips down to either side of the front foot. I'm just gonna walk over my foot a little bit so that my right leg can go behind my left knee. You've got now your right knee poking out. That's important. Try not to have it tucked behind. Bring it forward, and then now you're in toe squat. Yeah, awesome. You can option A, hang out here. Woo. Onto hands and your hands onto your hip and your knee. That's what this is called. Otherwise, you can take your fingertips down and pause. I'm just gonna, again, kind of jump over to the side so I don't go completely out of the picture. So your back elbow has to do a weird little like drop in, pull it into you, lift up. Now land your ass on the top part of the upper arm, yeah? That's important. So here we go. You can stay here. Otherwise, you're going to start to expand your legs. Nice, one more big inhale. And then slowly come back to that shape. So your left leg goes up and over, but slide your right shin to the floor. So now you're sitting down in between your heels. So have your left knee up, your right leg is underneath, and now we're in a seated twist. So sit up tall, inhale, right arm goes up, and exhale, elbow goes to the outer edge of the knee. Good, pausing here for one more big inhale. And as you exhale, bring it all the way back around to center. Take your feet out in front of you. Let them move into Baddha Konasana. Bottoms of the feet to touch. Open up the big toe mounds like a book, okay? So that you get that opening, sit up tall. And start to bring your elbows in front of your shins. Come forward. Heart is long. This can feel like, ugh, like, I don't know about you, but as I've been doing a little bit more on the treadmill and outside, it's like, yes, my inner thighs and my hips definitely are taking a bit more to open up here. So be patient, right? Not all is gonna be the same every day, especially when we change things up. Maybe your elbows are on your inner knees today and you're just rocking slightly like it's a super, super small movement. All right, one more big inhale. And then slowly roll yourself all the way up, hands onto your knees. Inhale to a cow shape, so the heart lifts. Exhale to a cow shape, or a cat shape, sorry. Bring your chin in and round your back, arms are straight. Inhale, roll it up, lengthen the gaze, shoulder blades roll back. Exhale, last time, bring yourself in, pause. Roll yourself all the way up. All right, my friends, that was super fun. I know it was short and sweet. You can continue doing a few vinyasas, do another video, whatever you'd like to do, or honestly just take a few moments in Shavasana, like even if it's 2 minutes to sort of finish off, maybe another laying twist, and away you go. You have been so beautiful, and just know that, I think it's the ebb and flow, right? So there's moments where I feel like I'm just like super, I guess, connected to my truth and who I am and where I'm going and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes like someone who, whether I know or not, says something to me and it throws me off my game, or maybe a situation happens that makes me question myself and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say so much or be so much or whatever. The fact is, we're gonna constantly be doing this with self over the years. Just know that hopefully it goes like this, right? So we end up going up a little higher in our frequency every time we doubt, then we get more strengthened by our passion from within to say, I am okay. I am okay, and so are you. You can be big, you can be small, you can be whoever you want, and you are awesome. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you take time to spend with me, because if I was there with you, we'd be having such a good time together. So I look forward to another video at some point, and just know that I hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon. Lots of love. Bye. Namaste.